comments down. I want to see them as much as we go. Today, we are talking about The Rock and The Rock's return. On Friday Night SmackDown, The Rock made a surprise return on TV. He is back in WWE. He's been doing a couple of interviews talking about plans for WrestleMania 39, as well. This was before he even debuted, actually. There's a lot of stories about The Rock going around, and then he turns up and WWE. He's back, baby. What do you think about this, Tom?
I mean, like I said, it's huge. It is. It's a huge move. I was very surprised by it. We all had a little laugh at Sam for not being available for SmackDown because it was a pretty big one. Then you might say, yeah, really good, really nice little promo. Great putting over. Great way to put over Austin Theory as well. Excellent use of Austin Theory in that context, and of course Pat McAfee in that segment.
How did they put him over? They killed him.
No, well, yeah, but it's the rub, isn't it? It's the Rock rub, So
if whoever he's in the ring with, he gets a rub.
He does. Okay.
So what's the Rock come back for, Dom?
He's come back to make some money and to fill some time.
Is it for Roman Reigns?
I believe it is, yes, long term.
Doing him versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, even though you've all been squealing on your chairs for ages, going, "It's gonna be Cody! It's gonna be Cody!"
It could be at night. It could be at night too. But how are they gonna? Yeah, how are they gonna pull that off? How are they gonna pull that off?
They're not gonna pull that off. Is The Rock winning against Roman Reigns?
No.
Not if no.
If he does 2 title defenses. He loses against The Rock and Cody win. Yeah, but what about the Raw after Mania?
He's not losing at the Raw after Mania either.
Cody needs to win it.
Okay, cool. But
so unless Cody goes for the Seth belt, which he won't, it has to be Roman. Look, man, I fully believe Rock's having a one more title run. I fully believe he's having a title run at some point. I'm not saying that The Rock isn't beating Roman for the title. But I also think Cody's getting
it. So Cody can beat The Rock then?
No.
Cody's beating Roman.
Cody's beating Roman. You do your thing. You do your whatever. You're rambling in it now, and then
How dare you belittle my speech?
Come on, get it out. Come on, let's go.
Well, I mean, it's going to be Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. That's cool. That's fine. The reports have been that The Rock was going to win at WrestleMania 39. That was what he was going to do. And one of the things that has come out as well is about the contract negotiations between the Fast and the Furious series, where Jason Statham, Vin Diesel, and The Rock all had personal issues with each other. And their agents all got in a room and had to negotiate how many punches each could have in the movie to make sure that it was fair and that no one was punching more than the others. So if he wants to, I think that WWE are going to have a really tough time with this, because you've got Roman Reigns that you've made this star. You have absolutely made him into this star, and you have given him this wrestling story. Now you've got this superstar coming in. Makes no sense for The Rock to win. Who won the first match between Rock and Cena, Dom?
The Rock won that.
Yeah. I think The Rock's beating Roman.
Yeah, I fully believe it's happening at some point. I just think I think, but then the argument is, and could remain, does it need to be for the title?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it does, because it's The Rock. He's not going to say, "I just want to fight with you for tribal superiority." Although I do believe this is where this story has been heading all along. I do believe that the idea of the tribal chief and the idea of somebody taking claim to being the actual tribal chief has been built up to this all along.
Yeah. I think they've been working towards this. It's been, a good example of WWE's long-term storytelling is that they always planned for this. At some point, they planned for this. But as to what my theory is, I believe Cody is winning that belt from Roman. I think The Rock is. It might not be when we think it'll be, but what I actually think is going to happen is Rock is beating Roman at some point. Roman is winning it back, and then Cody's winning it.
I think the other danger with it as well, Dom, is the fact that The Rock as soon as this writer's strike is over, The Rock is going to be straight away like back to films, and films are worth more than WrestleMania, way more than WrestleMania, both to The Rock and to in general financial terms.
Yeah, of course.
So how do you manage that, man? How do you manage the fact that The Rock may at some point, if the strike ends, suddenly has to drop a title at TLC?
They'll do it. They'll do it. They can, and they will. You know, WWE storylines. You know, WWE fans. And I believe this is I'm aware that this is a bit of a generalization, but we're quite. You know, we're known to be quite fickle. You can drop a storyline one week and be doing something else the next. It will be talked about for a period of time, a long period of time. Oh, The Rock just left and they dropped the title. If this was to happen, hypothetically, as you're saying, but people will get over it. Fundamentally, people will get over it. Look, I think, you know, I do believe that Rock is winning. I believe Roman is winning it back. I think they'll do what they did with Cena. I think they'll do a tit for tat. The Rock will get his big win. He'll get a championship run. That's what he's back for. Quick championship run back to Hollywood. Drops it to Roman on his way out. Cody wins it then. It's a longer wait for this payoff that we should have had a year ago. With
I think it'd be better if Cody beat The Rock for it, you know.
Is there as much money in that? Is there as much spectacle in that?
I think potentially, yeah. I don't necessarily think than the initial Roman and Rock thing, but I think as someone to take on the lineage of the belt, I think that's your better story. And then you have Cody Rhodes beating the biggest star in sports entertainment history to win the belt that his dad never had. If you're going to make that your story. But then you would all be wrong in saying that Cody was winning for. Oh, look at it! He knows he's wrong. He knows he's wrong.
No, I don't. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. They will do it. Come on, man. They'll do it, won't they? Rock will win. But but what are they going to do? How are they going to drop it back? Well, Roman wins it back, and you could believe.
No,
Roman,
I don't. I think that Cody will win it off him. What do you guys think in chat? Let me know.
Yeah, but Cody has to be the heel then, and it's not going to work that way, is it?
Why is the Cody? No, Cody doesn't have to be the heel. The Rock can be the heel. The Rock can easily turn it into the thing of him holding it over the company. He was the heel in the John Cena thing most for the full thing.
He can. Oh yeah, he can do a mean heel.
But it's not even necessarily heel. It's just like I'm doing this for pride and all that sort of garbage.
Interesting.
And then Cody said, I'm doing it for my dad.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really up for that. Yeah, I'm really up for that. I think that would work.
See what people think, Dan?
Yeah.
Dom. Yeah. Let's see what people think. The reason the Rock, Pat, and Austin promo went long is because no one timed the segment, so SmackDown script got ripped apart and changed in the fly because of it. I suspect that like they trust them well enough to know that this is going to be the TV that people actually want to watch. So just let it go. Let it be what it is. And actually, it was a really good segment. It was a really good return for the Rock, Dom.
Yeah, it was a wonderful. It was fantastic. I was hugely into it. Hugely into it. Like when I watched the segments and there was a lovely, again, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, it was actually really nice and telling that the LA Knights clips and segments were nearly as popular anyway, because obviously it just shows what an overstar he is. But
but that Rock pop, that was amazing.
It was wonderful.
I mean, everyone talks about pops in wrestling. There's no such thing as a pop. That's a pop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And imagine being part of that crowd who like had a one-off experience that night that they'll never forget for sure.
Yeah. No, that was absolutely wonderful. Again, and WWE are really good at pulling that from underneath people. You know, people didn't expect it. Nobody expected that. So what a lovely moment. You know, what a lovely moment. So
Vince I assume it was Vince that's organized all this. This isn't going to be a Triple H thing. This will be a Vince thing that has been had in the works for years and let it happen. And Vince is all about the moments, isn't he? So that Friday SmackDown was a moment that Vince created.
Yeah.
Finally, Ant has remembered to flush the toilet. Thanks, Mark. Sassy says, if Punk goes to WWE and Deborah want the money, we'll go back to CM Punk. Let's go. Hi, adorable Ant and Diva Dom, says Sassy. Lovely, man. Let's go. Let's get to the news now. Tammy Lynn, welcome. I'm done with WWE after they bring back The Rock after he tried to defraud the people to get a tax write-off. I don't know about that, Dom.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, mate. I
didn't know. Sorry, News Town. Please give us more information in chat. But I didn't know that he'd tried to defraud people with the tax write-off. I didn't know about that. But Sassy's saying some people are really upset as well. So I assume it's a known thing. Rock returning can only be good for everyone and business. Watch out, Roman. It's going to get very exciting. I tell you what, man. SmackDown numbers are going to be up on Friday.
Oh yes, indeed, and that is the long-term game of WWE. Of course, that is it's money at the end of the day, and that's why if we go back to our last Dom versus Ant video, money talks, man, money talks, and that's why The Rock is here. That's why John Cena is here, and that's why CM Punk will return. Money talks for a short.
CM Punk isn't returning. Stop throwing that in there, just as a general thing.
Well, no,
anyway,
I'm plugging.
Go and watch our Dom versus Ant video and vote for Ant in the comments. I currently believe that there's only 2 in the comments, 2 between us at the minute. So your vote will absolutely make a difference.
I am plugging that because we got to get them numbers up. Oh, you got to get them numbers up.
And what happens if CM Punk hasn't returned by September?
I'm gonna do a cinnamon challenge.
Yeah, you are, baby. Theory has been in segments with Rock, Cena, Stone Cold, and Cena. 3 guys likely on most people's Mount Rushmore. That's huge faith in Theory.
Absolutely, Andy. It is. Absolutely, mate. That is absolutely what I'm talking about.
But he got buried, man.
No, yeah, but it doesn't work like that.
Of course it does.
Work like that, mate.
No. I thought he got buried. Proof that Vince is heading creative, says Sassy. It certainly is. Roman loses Tribal Chief and loses Bell. He loses both. Yeah, the Tribal Chief story has been building to this perfectly, and I think it's a great way to finalize that story. Perhaps Cody should never have won at Mania, as everyone thought he would, because it makes sense for this. With Rock and Cena, Cody and others will lose TV time. That is one of the other concerns. When you've got these big stars coming in, others will lose TV time, Dom. It's that question of, does it matter, though, if you've got the people watching it?
That's it, man.
However, once they go, what do you have then, unless you've managed to put people over?
Yeah, but you're putting people over. You're putting people over by putting them with those people. You don't understand, right? Well, you do understand. You've been a wrestling fan for long enough, right? You listen. We're right. Me and Sporzy there in the comments. Theory. There's talk about turning Theory into a babyface at some point, and he'd be, obviously look. Yeah, and imagine what an over babyface Theory will be, having had these feuds. You can. I mean, Theory's your best example there. There's loads of it. Cody, of course, could potentially have a win against The Rock, and Cody is, a massive draw.
But the issue is once them people go, once Cena goes, once The Rock goes, what we're talking about here in terms of storytelling, and forget the single segment, is about putting Reigns over. But Reigns isn't going to be on a TV anymore, is he? Reigns is going to be doing, and I don't know if it'll put Reigns over any more than it already is, because he's kind of there. He's the new Cena. So I just worry about that loss that it'll take when he goes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, but I don't think they're worried about it. I think they're worried about ratings in the first instance, which they'll get. I think they're worried about, they'll be thinking about the money that merchandise will draw. Cena's merchandise, Rock's merchandise, Punk when he returns. That merchandise is gonna fly off. They're gonna make so much money off just this period.
So here's a question for you: how many wrestlers do you fire? Because you're going to lose TV time. So
we got rid of loads. There's loads you've gotten rid of in the previous years.
No, I mean like now, because there's going to be some.
There's a bunch of staff layoffs, isn't there?
There's loads of staff layoffs, which is about TKO as a whole, as the major company of UFC and WWE.
Well, there's plenty of people on the lower card, but you can get rid of and free money up. And I guess we'll find that out. But again, I think they're going to be making so much money right now that they're going to be less worried about firing actual on TV talent when they can, because obviously they can share a lot of. they can share a lot of staff and stuff across, departments, I would imagine. So yeah,
well, that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of the team was the marketing team and stuff like that. Which because UFC is the majority holder in this, isn't it? They own 51% and WWE own 49%.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be, obviously, and it's sad for those people losing their jobs, of course, but like I said, I do think that we're going to see, they're going to see record profit over the next few months, due to this merger, due to the names that they've got, and I don't think they're going to be so worried. I don't think they're going to be as worried as other people think they are.
Okay, that's fair enough. Roman just has to cut a promo saying The Rock comes back and messes around with Theory instead of acknowledging him. Easy story to say Rock only cares about himself, which is why Roman is the tribal chief. That's exactly how you do Rock as the heel in that circumstance. Mm-hmm. Exactly how you do it. He doesn't even have to be the bad guy. He's just the heel in that circumstance because he's doing what it's the whole Cena thing over again. Rock versus Roman. Solo helps The Rock elevate Solo. I do think there'll be something within the bloodline that assists The Rock, because you've got to, I assume that'll be the end point of that story as well. Because if The Rock beats Roman, you've ended the tribal chief storyline.
Yeah, but it's about time.
Is it?
I think by that time, yes.
I don't know. I'm genuinely questioning. I really don't know.
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah, because you don't watch WWE, do you? So
no, it's not that. It's not just that. It's the fact that it's the best story WWE's had in years. So I don't know. I don't know.
But
I'm sure there's depth to it.
It's starting to run its course. I've been a huge fan of it.
Write down in the comments, man. We'll talk about it. And I used to love The Rock till what I found out. I hope Jay comes in and kicks all the asses, says News Tower. He very, very, very possibly could. Very possibly could. The Rock said, "Word789, welcome, brother. How you doing? Is coming back. Let's go." See, people are excited about the WWE product again. It's certainly spared an interest in that product. So good for WWE.
Yeah, huge.
It's him with Hawaii and Oprah asking for donations for the fire. The 10 mil they put in is a donation, tax deductible, plus he's getting paid by the Entertainment Industry Foundation. Right? Okay, I'd have to sort of read into that a bit more. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I really didn't know about that. That is certainly something I'm interested in reading. Not good. It did kind of feel like Dwayne buried Theory, says Mark LFC UK. I thought so. Dom just thinks if you're caught in a photo down the street with a Rock Johnson, it elevates you.
Yeah, I do not agree that Theory was buried. We'll see about Theory's progress over the next,
I'm sure he will, Dom, because he has been put in that position. But then so was Eric Rowan. He was the last person to take a rock bottom before this, wasn't he?
I mean, Eric Rowan's doing okay, still making money.
He's not in the WWE.
He was there. Well, he was there the other week, and so he's still in their good books, obviously.
And I hope he got paid for that. But there's not using him. He's not doing well. He's been fired from the biggest wrestling promotion of the world.
But he's still making a living. And also,
absolutely. Thank God for independence and AEW for making the wrestling world a better place.
Just get your tongue out of Tony's bottom, right?
I can taste Coke. I think my tongue went right to his nose. Carry on.
That was one example. That was one match. Austin Theory, like Sporty said, has had a bunch of these opportunities. So I think that
I agree. I think they are pushing Austin Theory. I think that's obvious. I think it'll be like the Roman thing. It'll be like Roman, where the fans hate him, and you see it on our streams. A lot of people come on the streams talking about how much disdain they have for Austin Theory, but that was exactly where the Roman Reigns was 3 years ago. And look at the turnaround for him. Hi, Word, says Sassy. Even if they lose TV time, stars like Cena and Rock bring more eyes back on the product. It's a really valid point, Deanna. A really valid point. It certainly does. So, yeah. The issue is when they go, what you've got to make sure you've still got them stories, and maybe they can with Jade Cargill going to WWE. Apparently, getting $3 million a year, just like Oprah. They filed the 501c3 in their name, so the money they get is all the tax write-off that they get and pay out to people and themselves and other working for the organization. Right? Sounds like there's already controversy.
Indeed,
big money controversy.
Indeed, it is. But again, and there's a valid point, and I'm certainly not excusing it because, of course, if that is the case, it is wrong. But I guarantee you, neither Oprah or The Rock are sweating that at the moment. No. Which is an unfortunate fact of life. But they've got enough money to not worry about it. Which is sad. But
thank you so much for explaining.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm certainly not dismissing what you're saying. It's just it's a sad state of affairs when we live in a world where, as you can say about certain people at the very top of WWE, you can with enough money you can
have
avoid
sex with anyone.
You can avoid certain issues. Is what I was going to say.
It's all right, don't worry, dude. It's not just WWE I have a go at. Tony can go on press conferences, coked up to his eyeballs, and he's fine. Right, Reigns is expected to be back for the Saudi show and build up to it, likely versus AJ Styles. Reigns versus AJ Styles would be great. Cena, do you remember that Cena versus AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble? That was fantastic, man.
Oh man, yeah,
they had some great matches.
It was nice to see them come back together because AJ Styles is wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
He is, man. And I think about live events that I went to with AJ Styles and the amount of gloves they were selling to kids and stuff. And it's like these last few years have hardly used him. And I know he's been injured quite a lot of the time as well. But sort of he's like a major draw for me. He's one of the most exciting things in WWE, and he's not really used, is he?
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. I really do. AJ Styles is just. He's a stunning worker and an all-time great. I do believe he's an all-time great, certainly an Hall of Fame at WB.
Right.
And impact as well.
Oh, more controversy comes with The Rock, Dom. Rock has been accused by Warner Brothers executives to submit fraudulent financial sheets to show Black Adam was a success. He was hugely invested in Black Adam, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't know any of this until really, I maybe heard one or two rumors about the tax thing, just casually. People, you see things on Twitter or whatever, but of course we don't. And I certainly wouldn't advise anybody to put too much stock in wrestling Twitter. But this is the first time I've actually heard what it's about and why it's there. So it is interesting to get everybody's viewpoint on that.
We do appreciate you guys. News Now, Tammy Lynn says there's the explanation, and we do appreciate it. Convenient for people like The Rock and Cena to be able to come back to wrestling while the active strike is on. Hopefully they can still wrestle. It'd be great for us wrestling fans.
Yes, absolutely.
An interesting thought, isn't it? Does it insult us as wrestling fans that they only come back when there's a no? Because
it's like you say, they don't need to care about what we as diehard wrestling fans think, do they?
Yeah, but they don't have to care, but that's part of the issue, isn't it?
No, they don't.
Do you know what I mean?
They absolutely don't have to care.
Well, I think you should treat your customers better than that. I think they should care.
I understand what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
It's an interesting counterpoint. Yeah, I'm sure the schedules have become free, so they're doing this while they can. And I think that we can be helpful. I mean, I've really enjoyed Cena at Mania. I know a lot of people didn't necessarily enjoy his match with Austin Theory that were there, but for me, like in the live arena, I was amazed at how Cena was able to grab the crowd. I thought it was really entertaining to watch from a sort of performance standpoint. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really did. On the other hand, The Rock has donated 7 figures to the strike. Right, okay. I wonder if that was a tax write-off as well. I don't know. Maybe Sassy just made some more news.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Who knows? Hi, Matty. Sassy, just a tax write-off. Oh, no, I said it, and Tammy's already said it. Hi, Sassy. Deanna, I do not put part-time wrestlers taking time from a full-time talent.
Well, yeah, and I absolutely, and of course, Sassy, I love you and appreciate your thoughts on this, but of course, not every part-time talent is The Rock or John Cena, so it's
Logan
different.
Paul.
Or Logan Paul, yeah, absolutely.
It's weird, isn't it? And I suppose it's a question because now WWE has a lot of that, and if you're on about them bringing back Punk, they're going to have even more of it, really. Where it's bringing in these. Oh well, Punk can still go in the ring. Let's be perfectly honest. But you are really. It's one of them things, isn't it? It's like part of the problem with WWE sort of 5 years ago was that they hadn't really built any stars, and they couldn't rely on The Undertaker and The Rock anymore, or Stone Cold, or whoever it is, or Rob Van Dam, or whatever it was. So they hadn't built up the stars. So it got to about like 8 years ago, let's say, where they was in a really weird position because they hadn't built anyone up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I say, I think there's going to be, I honestly think we're worrying about nothing at the moment. I think that, we're going to see stars, like we're going to see Theory, you're going to see Cody, you're going to see people raised up by this period. I think, John Cena will put over people. The Rock, I believe, Roman Reigns and a title win aside, will put over people. I'm not saying he's going to lose matches, but there are other things. There are other ways you can put people over. So I genuinely.
Well, that's an interesting one because you're saying there's other ways to put people over, and I do believe that CM Punk did a really good job of that in AEW. The problem with The Rock doing that is it means he has to work as a wrestler again, and can he still go as a wrestler or not?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, that is the question, and a very good question, a very interesting question that only time will tell.
It certainly will.
Indeed.
I mean, look, if he had a match with Chad Gable, let's say, right, and they put on a 15-minute great match, which is what CM Punk was doing with people like Lee Johnson and stuff like that early on in the AEW's career, then yes, I think it can put people over. But if he's going to have a 5-minute get beat up by Gable a bit, rock bottom, people's elbow done, which, let's be perfectly honest, for a lot of the time, that's what The Rock was. Rock was coming out of that new generation 5 moves of doom type era, and you think about what the people's elbow is. It's an elbow drop. It's almost a way to bury people in the move itself,
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting.
Fascinating discussion to come out of this, and like I say, I'm very, like I say, it'll be very interesting to see what happens on SmackDown. Of course, Sam will be covering that this week, right here on the Gimme a Hull Yeah podcast. So
right here,
go and check that out. Go and check that out on Friday.